What if everything you perceive as reality exists only in your mind? What if the world around you is nothing more than a collection of your perceptions? These are profound questions that have fascinated philosophers for centuries. The nature of reality and perception is a complex topic, one that delves into the very core of our existence. Perception, in its simplest form, is how we interpret the world around us through our senses. But what if this interpretation is all that reality is? What if there is no objective world outside our minds? These are the questions that philosophers have grappled with, each coming up with their unique interpretations. From the ancient Greeks to the modern thinkers, many have put forth their views on the nature of reality. Some propose a dualistic view, like René Descartes, who believed in a clear divide between the mind and the material world. Others advocate for a materialistic standpoint, asserting that only matter exists and our minds are merely a byproduct of physical processes. Then there is George Berkeley, an 18th century Irish philosopher, who dared to challenge these conventional notions. He proposed a theory known as subjective idealism, or immaterialism. According to Berkeley, the physical world and its objects exist only in the minds of observers. He argued that material substances are nothing more than collections of ideas, and their existence depends on being perceived. Berkeley's philosophy was a radical departure from the views of his contemporaries. He rejected the notion of an independent material world, asserting that reality consists solely of minds and their perceptions. This led to his famous phrase, esse est percipi, or to be is to be perceived. Berkeley's ideas were met with both intrigue and criticism, sparking debates that continue to this day. His exploration of the nature of reality and perception remains a fascinating chapter in the annals of philosophical thought. Today we dive into the life and philosophy of George Berkeley, the man who dared to challenge the conventional notions of reality. Born into the world he would later question, George Berkeley came to life on March 12, 1685, in County Kilkenny, Ireland. The son of William Berkeley, a man of English descent, young George was surrounded by a family that valued education and intellectual pursuits. His father's influence and the stimulating environment of his home ignited Berkeley's interest in intellectual explorations at a young age. Growing up, Berkeley attended Kilkenny College, where he was introduced to the world of philosophy. Here he encountered the works of influential philosophers like Descartes and Locke, sparking his curiosity and setting the stage for his future philosophical endeavors. His time at Kilkenny College was formative, and it was during these early years that Berkeley began to question the prevailing philosophical doctrines of his time. In 1700, at the age of 15, Berkeley entered Trinity College, Dublin. Immersed in an academic setting, he delved deeper into the realm of philosophy. He studied the ideas of his predecessors, but he also began to develop his own philosophical conceptions. It was during his time at Trinity College that Berkeley began to formulate his theory of idealism. His studies and reflections culminated in 1709 with the publication of his work, An Essay Towards a New Theory of Vision, marking the beginning of his philosophical journey. Berkeley's early life and education were instrumental in shaping his philosophical ideas. His formative years were marked by intellectual curiosity and a desire to understand the nature of reality. His education provided him with the tools to question and explore, and it was this spirit of inquiry that would lead him to challenge the philosophical norms of his time. In his exploration of philosophy, Berkeley was not content to simply accept existing ideas. He sought to understand, to question, and to contribute his own thoughts to the philosophical discourse. His early experiences and education fostered this intellectual curiosity and shaped him into the philosopher he would become. Berkeley's fascination with philosophy would lead him to challenge the existing philosophical doctrines of his time. His early life and education laid the foundation for his future contributions to philosophy, setting the stage for a lifetime of intellectual exploration and innovative thinking. Berkeley's most significant philosophical contribution is his theory of idealism, sometimes referred to as subjective idealism or immaterialism. This radical philosophy proposes that the physical world and its objects exist solely in the minds of those who observe them. To understand this, imagine a tree falling in the forest. According to Berkeley, if there's no observer to witness the fall, then, in a sense, the tree doesn't fall at all. It's a mind-bending concept, isn't it? Berkeley was convinced that material substances are nothing more than collections of ideas. He argued that their existence depends entirely on being perceived. This belief is encapsulated in his iconic dictum, esse est percipi. which translates to be is to be perceived. But why did Berkeley come up with such a revolutionary theory? Well, it was a response to the dualistic philosophy of his time, especially the ideas of René Descartes. Descartes postulated a clear separation between mind and matter, a notion that Berkeley vehemently rejected. Instead, he asserted that reality consists only of minds and their perceptions. In his groundbreaking work, a treatise concerning the principles of human knowledge, Berkeley laid out his arguments, challenging the widely accepted beliefs about the nature of existence. His views were met with both intrigue and criticism, as they questioned the very fabric of reality as understood by his contemporaries. Interestingly, Berkeley's idealism was not just confined to his philosophical thought. As a bishop in the Anglican Church, his theological views often intersected with his philosophical beliefs. The primacy of perception in his idealism aligned well with his religious convictions. Berkeley's idealism may seem radical, even outlandish to some, yet it's impossible to deny its profound influence on the field of philosophy. It has inspired subsequent philosophical movements, such as phenomenology and existentialism, and continues to stimulate intellectual debate. Berkeley's idealism was a radical departure from the prevailing philosophical views, sparking both controversy and intellectual discourse. And it's this audacious exploration of reality and perception that makes George Berkeley an unforgettable figure in the annals of Western philosophy. Despite the criticism and controversy, Berkeley's impact on philosophy has endured. This Irish philosopher, with his bold and innovative theories, has left an indelible imprint on the philosophical landscape. Berkeley's theories, particularly his theory of idealism, have had a profound influence on later philosophical movements. His assertion that reality consists solely of minds and their perceptions laid the groundwork for the development of phenomenology. This philosophical movement, originating in the early 20th century, emphasizes the role of consciousness and perception in understanding reality. It encourages us to explore our own lived experiences and perceptions, mirroring Berkeley's belief in the primacy of perception. In addition to phenomenology, Berkeley's influence can also be seen in the existentialist movement. While existentialism is a broad and diverse field, many of its proponents share Berkeley's rejection of an independent material world. The focus on individual experience and perception within existentialism echoes Berkeley's own emphasis on the subjective nature of reality. Berkeley's impact extends beyond philosophy and into the realm of psychology. His ideas about perception and reality have informed our understanding of how we perceive the world around us. They have shaped psychological theories about perception and cognition, contributing to our knowledge of how the mind works. Yet it's not just in philosophy and psychology that Berkeley's legacy is felt. His belief in the primacy of perception aligns with his religious convictions, reflecting the interconnectedness of his philosophical and theological views. In this way, Berkeley serves as a reminder of the potential for dialogue and synergy between different fields of thought. In the face of criticism and controversy, Berkeley held steadfast to his beliefs, challenging commonly held views about the nature of existence. His courage to question and explore has inspired generations of thinkers, encouraging them to push the boundaries of what is known and understood. George Berkeley's exploration of the nature of reality and perception continues to stimulate intellectual discourse and remains an integral part of the history of Western philosophy. His legacy lives on, not just in the theories he developed, but in the spirit of inquiry and exploration he embodied. In the realm of philosophy, George Berkeley stands as a figure who dared to question the very nature of reality. Born in the late 17th century in County Kilkenny, Ireland, Berkeley was a man who wore many hats. An influential philosopher, he was also a dedicated bishop in the Anglican Church. His philosophical and theological pursuits often intertwined, leading to a unique perspective on the world around him. Berkeley's philosophical journey led him to challenge the prevailing views of his time. In an era dominated by dualistic thinking, Berkeley proposed a radically different theory: idealism. This theory, which can also be referred to as subjective idealism or immaterialism, posits that the physical world and its objects exist only in the minds of observers. This concept is encapsulated in Berkeley's famous phrase, esse est percipi, or to be is to be perceived. In his groundbreaking work, a treatise concerning the principles of human knowledge, Berkeley laid out his arguments, boldly challenging the commonly held beliefs about the nature of existence. He rejected the idea of an independent material world, asserting that reality consists solely of minds and their perceptions. Despite the controversy and criticism his ideas stirred, Berkeley's impact on philosophy has been enduring. His theories laid the groundwork for later philosophical movements, including phenomenology and existentialism. Even today, his exploration of the nature of reality and perception continues to provoke intellectual discourse, marking him as an integral part of the history of Western philosophy. Berkeley's philosophical journey challenges us to question our perceptions and the nature of reality itself. As we navigate our own realities, we carry with us the echoes of his daring question: what if reality exists only in our minds? An avant-garde thinker, Berkeley dared to question, dared to challenge, and dared to think differently. His legacy is a testament to the power of questioning and the enduring value of philosophy.